So Bob, Talion develops during the game. All decisions he makes have consequences. How does that work?
So the most important kind of aspect of the sandbox for us is a new thing we're trying to bring to the genre, the Nemesis system, where we build up all the grunts and enemies in the world can kind of become bosses and develop unique personalities and strengths and weaknesses. And a really important part of that is they react to the choices you make. They react to how you play and what Talion's done to them, and so they can grow and change, and they'll remember and they'll speak to you in reference to what you've done to them before. And they could also develop different strategies, strengths and weaknesses based on that. So if you caught them on fire, they might develop a fear of fire and go running if you do that again, or they might be a little tougher and develop a hate and just get enraged and be that much stronger. So yeah, the way you play does influence how the bosses grow and shape and change.
Talion's quest for vengeance is aided by a mysterious undying spirit, a wraith.
Talion has the ability to change into the ghost world, but what is the story behind that?
So at the beginning of the game, Talion's a ranger guarding the black gates of Mordor, but when Sauron returns, he just kills everyone, including Talion. So right at the beginning of the game, you're dead, but you're brought back to life by this wraith, the spirit of vengeance that has this ancient grudge against Sauron, who we find out is Celebrimbor, one of the most powerful characters in the history of Middle-earth. And so by resurrecting you, he's stuck around Mordor after all these years instead of returning to the Halls of Mandos, and he gives you essentially the power to switch back and forth between the Wraith world and the physical world, and to sort of use all the powers that you kind of see from the films where the Nazgul, who are Wraiths as well, to fear and domination of their enemies and all that kind of thing.
We begin with a focus on Talion's weapons and the rune upgrade system.
There's a couple important elements to upgrading and progression in the game, and the skill tree has the ranger tree and the wraith tree, and there you can get all kinds of different skills about combat, stealth, ranged, and the wraith abilities. And every one of those we wanted to make a big important new tool in the toolbox for how to accomplish a goal. It's not just incremental stat upgrades. But then we also have progression around the weapons, where in Tolkien weapons are they're characters unto themselves. You have Glamdring, Gandalf's sword, and Sting, Frodo's sword, and in the films, the Goblin King freaks out, it's the foe hammer, because he's reacting to the weapon, not the character even wielding it. So we wanted to give you a chance to grow the legend of your weapon in that way as well, make them into real characters. And so as you kill all the bosses, you inscribe the fate of your enemies into your blade, basically, and that's how you upgrade those stats.
Do we encounter more characters from the Lord of the Rings universe?
Yeah, that's a great thing about this moment in history. We're right between the events of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, so Bilbo Baggins has just stolen the one ring from Gollum, and he's upset and is now chasing it, and he's gone into Mordor at this time, and that's where we get to cross paths with him. So he becomes an important story character, and of course, ultimately we're going after Sauron, so there are a few good ties in there for fans of the films and books.
When can I buy the game?
It's coming out in America on September 30th, and then the rest of the world on October 3rd.
October 3rd. I'm looking forward to that. Thank you so much for the interview.